Okay, so a few of you were just saying you were having a little bit of trouble with this page, so I'm just going to go through it quickly there with you. Right. Construct the image of the triangle ABC, this one over here, under axial symmetry over the line QR, and that QR line is drawn in at 45 degrees. Okay, so what we do, let's set up our set squares. Now I know it's probably the one down here you're stuck with, guys, but look, we'll start with this. Okay, you'll bring your lines down across perpendicular. Move my other pencils out of the way. Perpendicular to the line QR. Okay. Once you've that done, measure from QR to B. Mark that off. Call that B1. Next one is A. Measure that. A1. And the last one is C. Up to here. And that's C1. Right. So we'll go from A to B1. From A1 to C1. And use the inside here. It's just easier. Here to here. So that's that first one done. Okay. 10.2, we'll move on to this one. I'll focus. Right, now I'll just construct this one again with axial symmetry. So what you're going to do, set up your set squares so that you'll be able to have your perpendicular line. Okay. So make sure that's right. I'm going to bring over my A line, my B line. Now, very important, these corners as well, you need to bring those over too. So this back corner, this front corner, this inner corner here, this line here. And remember, my pencil lines on this are very, very heavy, just so that you'll be able to see them. All right. Once I have that much done, I'm still missing one, so I can move my set squares down, use this as a guide, and bring D over. Now, what I would suggest to you at this point is give these other corners a label. That's just so that when you bring them over, you know what line you're marking off. So we have A, B, C, D. We'll call this one E, F, G, and H. Always label stuff. It makes it a little bit easier to follow. So now from the line to A. Mark that off. A1. And the more used to these you get, the faster you'll get as well. G to G1. That's a G, not a C. B to B1. H. This wrong way around. H to H1. F to F1. D to D1. E to E1. Last but not least, C to C1. Okay. Now, so if I've done these correct, then I'll be able to, we'll just go through now. So F1, D1, E1, and C1. So E and C join together. We know that much. What we also know is that E, C, H, and B, they're all on the same line. So if I've been accurate, I should be able to draw those in there. And those ones in there like that. Okay. Now again, if I've been accurate, those front corners here are parallel to this line and are parallel to this line. So just checking my accuracy, I can slide up and B and F should be on the same line. And A and D should also be on the same parallel. And then what I'll have, again, I can use my side and set squares just to make my life easier. More than anything else. Set it up. And the 4 lines going across are from D to C1 should be parallel to F to E1. And then we're just going to move the set squares over a bit. And it should be the same on the side anyway. If I was just to join A to B1, I should come down and H and E1 should be on the same line. So that's that one done like that. Next question you have, and this is where I think you're going to have a little bit more difficulty. Not because it's much harder, but there's a little bit more problem solving in this. And this is why. I've told you that there needs to be an axis line in between A and A1. You all know that for axial symmetry now. Your problem is going to be how many people actually thought of where that line would be if it wasn't given. So, to find that, there's a few things you know. You know that if you were to draw a line between A and A1 like that, the axis line should be perpendicular to the lines that go across. Now, what you also know is that it's half the distance between A and A1. So all you need to do with this question, get your compass out. If you remember those bisectors and the common constructions we touched on, you open your compass out to more than halfway, swing an arc nice and light, swing an arc from the other end, nice and light, and that will give you your axis line. Because this line here, from there down, that line, the axis line, is perpendicular, which is that little icon there, to line A1 and A. That's all you need to remember. If you're not given the axis, and for your junior cycle exam, you probably won't be, just to test your knowledge. All you need to do is you connect where it's starting to where it ends and bisect that line, and that'll give you the axis line. So, get back to normal. What do we do? We'll bring all of our points across. So all of these come over. Okay. And I just need to set my set squares up to get that last point as well. Even though my sheet's a little bit blurry because I photocopied it. Okay. Right. So I have this. Again, what I'll say to you is please label all of your stuff. So A, B, C, and this was point D. And even if I gave you a photocopy of the sheet, I can find where that point is because I can just join the 2 corners here. So that's how I do that, just in case you ever need to. A, B, C, D, and I'm going to say E and F. These 2 lines come down to the same point at D, so I don't need to relabel those. Right, back to the basics. What do you do when you need to move your object from this side to this side through axisymmetry? Well, you grab your compass, you go from the axis line, and you measure the distance back, you bring it over, and you drop it down. So that would be E1, this would be B1, this will be F1, again 1 because it's the same point, just in a new location, D, over to D1, and C over to C1. Okay, just going to extend this line so it'll cross over, so I can find that exact point. Right, before I touch a thing, labels. Start at the end here, C1, D1, F1, B1, E1. Alright, we're back to connect the dots. So A joins to D, joins to C, joins to B. Join that to that. This over. Now, again, if we've done our work right, the point F1 should be on this line. Same with E. And the reason I know that is because it's on the line over here. So A goes through E to B, A1 goes through E1 to B1. And there's three more lines you have to do. You connect E to F, because that's the way it is over here. And you connect both of these back to D, or in this case, D1. Just like that. So that's that question done. A little bit out of sorts here. It's just because this is a little bit skewed. You can see it's not quite square, but it's fine. Right. Last one. The trickiest of them all. Draw the house in its new position, axial symmetry. Right. Again, what do I do? So, sure, over here it was going from A to A1. Up here, the first point we worked with was A to A1. So, I need to pay attention, because I was about to draw a line from A to E. That's not right. You need to draw your line from E1 to E. So you need to make sure you read the question and read all of those points. So connect here to here. Draw that line. What you do next, you bisect the line. Now, when you bisect the line, you don't need to do the full arc if you find that that's messy. You can just do a little bit top and a little bit below. Put your compass on the other end, and you can just mark where it crosses. So you can see we have the same thing. If I was to keep my compass going all the way, it's exactly the same thing. I'm just reducing the amount of pencil lines on my page. Right. Once you have that axis, same thing. Put in your axis. Label it that it is your axis. Always label everything. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing as usual. We're going to draw our lines. You see, this is a really nice question as well. Right, so we're going to come here. We're going to bring A over. We're going to bring D over. It's our next one. We're going to bring this corner over. We're going to bring this corner over. We're going to bring B. And we're going to bring C. The only thing that's changed on this question really is it's working back this way. The rest of them have all been going that way or down to the right. Okay. Now, again, when you bring your points over, you'll need to label them. So I'm going to give these ones names: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. So I missed one. And you go back and make sure I count that as well. Okay. Back to our reliable old compass. So E is already done for us. You bring H over, mark it off. You'll bring A over, mark it off. You'll bring D over, mark it off. Make sure you're marking on the right line now. Bring G over, put in there. Bring F, mark that one there. Next one is B. And last but not least is C. Okay. Again, no matter how good you think you are, I want you to go through the labels. So C1 was this top one up here. The next one is B1. Next one is F1. There's G1. There is D1. A1. And H1. Always make sure you do that. So what you'll do again is you'll be able to follow the motions then over here. You can look at let's see where we're going. You can go from A to E. So A to E, and it should include H if we've been accurate. That looks pretty good to me there. We go from A through F to B. That looks pretty good. We could go parallel to that if we want to just check our accuracy. And that should be from H to G, and perpendicular the other way. Going across like that. All right, next one is that D and B1 should join across here. So again, the only reason I'm using side and step squares here is just to check my accuracy, that's all. Right, and the last one then is B joins to the apex of the roof up here. D1 also joins the apex of the roof up there. Now, that is page 105. Done. And what do we have? Let's say 16 minutes. Okay. Now, that's not to make you feel pressure. That's just to show you that it is absolutely possible to... Oh, hold on. Another 3 seconds. Right, that's 16 minutes. I'm not saying that to put you under pressure. I am purely saying that to show you that it is absolutely possible to do each of these or a small aspect of these questions really fast. But that has taken a lot of practice. So give yourselves time and make sure you take your time doing it. Label all of your points, and it will make doing this a lot easier and a lot easier to understand as well. Okay.